I haven't done this in so long. Okay. Where do I put this stupid thing? Wow. How do I even start this? Okay. You got this. You can do it. You can do it. Can you hear me? Hi, guys. Welcome back to It's Now or Never. No, I don't like that. Oh my god. I'm finally doing this. How do I do this intro again? Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to It's Now or Never. I'm your host, of course, Alex Willard, and this is officially season 3, episode 1. Where the fuck has Alex been? Let's get into it because it has been way too long. How long has it actually been? Let's look. Let's see here. May 1st. Hey Siri, how many days has it been since May 1st, 2024?
It has been 404 days since May 1st, 2024.
404 days. 404 days since I released my last podcast episode telling you guys I would have a final episode before the end of season 2, and you guys were left with nothing. It's been a long time. It's been a long awaited time. It's been a whole school year, over a year. A lot's happened. A lot of shit has happened. We've been through a lot. We've done a lot, accomplished a lot, and changed a lot. And you know that this podcast is all about changing for the better and all about seeking the new highs and seeking fulfillment and becoming the best version of yourself. And I've been on that journey. I've been on a journey for sure. But I'm back. I'm back, bitches. And I'm better than ever. I am better than ever, and I'm so excited to be back. I'm so excited to talk to you guys again. I've been plotting. I have new hair. I literally just got this done today. I am dark now. For whoever's watching this, whoever's not watching this, and just listening to this, and you can't see me talking, I have dark brown hair now. I'm no longer a blonde. Did it take me a new hair color to realize my full potential? Maybe. Did it take me getting a new hair color for me to realize I'm a bad bitch? No. So, this is also your sign though. If you want to dye your hair, go dye your hair because I feel amazing and it's so fun. I did have a little existential recently. Obviously I dyed my hair. I've been going through an existential. What is that, you might ask? Well, it's my new favorite phrase. Existential crisis, not in a bad way, but a good way. I'm someone, I can always sense when I'm about to hit or when I'm in a transitional period in my life, when things are about to change. I felt this a few weeks ago. That's probably why I dyed my hair, but things are changing in my life and a lot of things have changed. Let's cut to the chase. Let's get to the serious stuff. Let's get into the juiciness of where the fuck has Alex been? Where has she been? Great question. I'm so glad that you've asked. I've been a lot of places. A lot of things have happened. I guess we should just go down the timeline and maybe unpack some things. We'll leave some things packed up. Packed away, box sealed for now, tape over the box, just for now. We'll get into the juicy parts, like the really juicy parts, maybe later on in the season. So really, if we rewind all the way back to May, where was I? Last May, the school year was ending. We were about to hit finals week. I promised a final episode for season 2. And I think it was Dating in College Part 3, which was an interesting series for sure. And I think we'll have to redo that, but instead it'll be just dating in general. But that's a whole nother thing we'll get into, girl. I was in the end of my sophomore year. I was with a guy at the time. I had gotten back with him, ex-boyfriend from high school, whatever. There was that. We talked about him a lot. Will we be talking about him anymore? Maybe that's a question. No. But we have learned to leave the past in the past. No offense to anybody, no harm done, but the past stays in the past. And I think you guys should all learn it because I know some of you that love to go back to your exes and you still haven't learned your lesson. We're on to forwards, newer, bigger, better things, in every single aspect of my life. So ending my sophomore year, what the hell was I going to do? I was still working, running this social media account for the university. I thought I was doing a lot. Was I really? No, not compared to what I ended up doing. I ended up taking an internship. I did a data analytics internship in Irving, Texas. I drove an hour and a half to and from work 5 days a week, every single week of summer. When I got to work, I sat in a cubicle in the corner behind a computer at a desk all day long for 8 hours. And there's a lot of things I learned from that internship: how to use HubSpot, how to sit in a meeting, how to prepare notes, to give a little recap to my boss for the week on what I'm working on. But I think the biggest thing that Alex learned is Alex is not built for a regular 9 to 5. I'm not built for a desk job. That's probably the worst summer I've ever had. I don't think I've ever been more, I'm sorry, but for the lack of better terms, but depressed. I don't think I've ever been more depressed in my life than sitting behind a desk inside. Like, I had this beautiful giant window next to me, and our office was right around this lake with all of these trails, and I always got to watch people walking and all the beautiful things outside. And I had to sit inside all day in a cold ass fucking office behind a fucking computer in a cubicle in the corner. I was the youngest person in the office. I was the only intern. I didn't do much than just sit behind my computer. I didn't have any social interaction all summer. I didn't get sun. I didn't get sleep. I didn't get a workout. I did yoga. I got really into yoga last summer, really into pickleball. That's about all I did, and hung out with my boyfriend at the time. What else happened last summer? Sitting behind a desk in an office all day long, not moving my body as someone who regularly loves to move my body, and that's what I'm used to. I very quickly developed a little issue. And it was something that was already there and just brewing and becoming worse. So we all know that my freshman year, spring of my freshman year, I picked up bodybuilding. I'm also allergic to gluten. So with bodybuilding, I started tracking all of my calories, weighing all my food. I got very in tune with food, with eating. What was I putting to my body? I was very obsessive over it. At the time, it was not as bad as what it was last summer. I was in a very bad place with myself mentally. It puts me in a really bad spot with myself when I'm not able to work out every day. I'm very used to working out every single day, at least once a day. And so when I can't do that simple thing and I'm putting other things over myself or I don't have the time, it doesn't get done. And I hold it against myself. And when I'm not working out, I don't feel good. When I don't feel good, I take it out on myself. I don't feel good in my skin. I don't feel healthy. I don't have energy. I get really upset at myself and I take it out on myself. So last summer, with sitting behind a desk in this office, not being able to move, I developed 2 different types of eating disorders. I developed orthorexia, which is the obsession over healthy eating and healthy food, and anorexia, which, I mean, I think we all know what anorexia means, but for me, it was a really big thing of like restricting. I would go a whole entire week without eating. And I tracked my calories. I had a whole spreadsheet and I got really in depth with this whole thing. And I'm not going to share all of the little things I did just for people that are watching. I don't want to give anyone any ideas because I do not condone that. I don't support damaging your body like that. And it's also damaging your mind. I would spend my whole entire lunch break walking. I always had to have my Apple Watch charged so I can track all my steps. I was tracking all my fasting. And it was really difficult when, I have a boyfriend and he wants to go get ice cream or he wants to go to dinner or my parents cook dinner. How am I supposed to tell to someone like, I'm doing a fast right now, I don't want to eat? Or I would eat and then I would take it out on myself, or I would go purge or whatever. And I would count something that was, if I ate more than 1,000 calories in a day, that was a binge. Like I let myself go, whatever. I weighed myself twice a day, wrote everything down. I was in a really bad spot. And it's now something I still struggle with. It's something that doesn't leave your head. When you begin to mentally keep track of calories, you don't stop. To this day, I stopped writing down what I eat. I stopped really tracking calories, but I still read every label. I have to because of my gluten allergy, which the gluten allergy and the working out, like the bodybuilding, those went hand in hand together that cause the eating disorder. Bodybuilding alone is a very slippery slope and a place that commonly produces eating disorders. It was a recipe for disaster. To this day, like, I don't do a lot of the same things that I used to do. I try to be a little bit nicer to myself and take care of myself because it destroys your relationships. It destroys your social life. It destroys the way you treat yourself and the way you see yourself. And it's still something I struggle with to this day. It's still something. And I'm working on it. But that's probably a really big reason on why I never came out with another episode last summer. I am somebody, I don't want to sit here and give you guys advice if I'm in a really bad mental spot because I think that's hypocritical. But then I sit here and remember the whole reason why I made this podcast. I didn't make it in the best mindset of my life. I made it in a really low place my freshman year. I came out with my first episode, which was great. And then my second episode I made literally 15 minutes after my freshman year boyfriend and I broke up. I was in an awful mindset. And I made this podcast as a diary for myself. I'm talking through my emotions. And most of the time when I talk about something to you guys, it's something that I need to hear myself or something I've been commonly reminding myself lately. Fuck not being in the best mindset. I was down on myself and I didn't want to bring you guys down with me. But also, I want to give you guys like a little visual into my life and my mind and how I get through things, and we can work through things together. I need to stop being a bitch about those kinds of things and put on my big girl panties and talk to you guys because this is therapy for me. I love it. I do have a therapist. We love her, but this is therapy for me. So I'm back. I'm not going to be leaving you guys anytime soon. I promise you, you guys have my word. I'm big on pinky promises. Here's my pinky promise right now that I will continue to come back with episodes every single week, all of season 3. I promise. You guys have my word. Little pinky promise. I like to kiss it and seal it. Seal the deal. You know, like the little seal the deal. Deal is sealed. We have a pinky promise. Keep me accountable. Hopefully you don't need to. But yeah, that's what I went through last summer. It was a lot mentally. Came back to school. Picked back up my social media job with the university, which was really awesome. August. Broke up with my ex-boyfriend, okay? Said, you're done, you're out. We'll talk about that later. Why? He's a great man. Nothing wrong with him. It's just us. We just don't work. Not the man for me, and that's okay. He's great. He's awesome. No hard feelings. I also got an opportunity to work for a social media agency, and that was a snowball into a few other opportunities I got. And so I worked with a company called Glacier Marketing Group. Really amazing people. It was a great group of people, really hard workers, and I love Glacier. I love everything they work for, and they are inspiring, they're motivating. It's just everything about their hard work and their mindset is very contagious, and I love surrounding myself with people like that. So I joined Glacier and I was helping them with their marketing and just organizing stuff behind the scenes. And I got to meet a lot of really awesome people. In October, got to go to TCU with Brad Kraut. That was awesome in itself. Brad is such a cool, motivating person. He's fucking awesome. He gave me one thing that I always, I literally have it written on my computer. It's not about, college is not about the grades you make, but it's about the hands you shake. And something I've been doing is I put a lot of weight on my GPA and my grades and blah, 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 blah. My grades are shit. I'm sorry if you're a future employer. My grades are awful in college. I pass my classes. My grades are not great. Not great. But my resume is fucking amazing. And the people that I've met and the experiences I've had, that's what's going to take me far in life. Not something on a piece of fucking paper. Because I'm going to be honest, my classes in college have not taught me anything. It's crazy. I'm paying how much money, how much a year do I pay to not learn shit from this school? I don't know. But I think college is a waste of time. Hot take. But I'm 3 years in and a little over $100,000 down the drain. So we got to keep going with this. We're going to finish strong because we do finish things. We're not quitters, but college is shit. Your GPA doesn't matter as long as you have a good resume. As long as you meet people, you have a good resume and you set yourself up. I know so many successful people that either never went to college or dropped out of college. The most successful person I know in my life that's my age didn't finish college. Think about that. Now he's in an executive role at a company and probably the most inspiring person to me. And my best friend. But that's, we'll talk about him another time. If you're watching this, hi. But yeah, it's not about the grades you make. It's about the hands you shake. And that is something that it's written on my computer. I see that every single day. And I remind myself that don't beat yourself up because you failed a class. By the way, I failed my first class this past semester. We'll talk about that later. But back to my main point, met Brad. He's really cool. All the people I surrounded myself with. I got to meet one of my favorite artists and now like built a connection with him, which is amazing. Like he got me into now, inspired me to then pick up DJing, which guys, yes, I also became a DJ. Tried that out a little bit. I love DJing. I love making music. I love music. I've been around music since I was like 5 or 6. Always played an instrument. And I was like, why not? Let's pick this thing up. I spent everything in my bank account on that DJ deck and took it home. Got pretty good. Started making music. There's a lot of songs I've made that I haven't released. Alex picked up a lot of hobbies. Quickly after that, I don't talk about this. I got fired for the first time. We're spilling all the tea today. Wow. I got fired. Why did I get fired? Because I told them, because I wanted bigger and better things. And I said, I want to apply for this position. I think it would be really good for me in the long run. I really want to learn more about video and just really perfect my craft on film and videography. And I think I'm going to apply to this position. It would be really good for me. What happened? The next day I got fired, which is okay because then I did get this position, which was awesome. I love my job now. I get a video all day, every day, and create content and edit and do the thing that I love the most. I get to make art, which at the end of the day is the one thing that I love. And I view this as art. I view making music as art. I view videography as art. Everything I do is an expression of me and my creativity. And so, yeah, so now I get to do that every day. So picked that up pretty quickly and started working on my music, getting better at videography. Did the fall semester, and then I was going through a really bad burnout period. Towards the end of the semester, it always hits me. So it's like November, and I have this really hard class called database development. I'm taking this class and I'm in the exam. I walk into this exam and I have these periods of time where my brain doesn't turn on. And so I open up the exam. I've studied hard for this. I know this exam. And I start reading the questions and I just can't read it. Like my brain isn't working. The only thing I know to do is start bawling my eyes out in this exam. Like there are people around me. There's probably like 50 people in this room. My professor's at the front staring at me, and I'm just sitting there watching my tears soak up this paper exam because my brain won't turn on. And I knew if I didn't pass this exam, I wouldn't pass the class. So what did I do? I sat there and I wrote a cute little note to my sweet, sweet professor. And I basically said, I'll see you next semester. I can't do this. I'll send you an email. I'm dropping the class, whatever. Drop the class, walk out, sobbing. I call my mom, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then I have this wild thought. Mom, I think I should get a dog. I think it's the time. I spend all day in my room working from home on my computer, and I get really lonely. Like, I don't have a boyfriend. I don't really have people over. I don't really talk to anyone. I need a best friend. I need a dog. She's like, okay, whatever. I go home 2 days later. My mom's already texted her friend and she's like, which one do you want? So about a week later, I ended up picking up my daughter, Poppy. I'm officially a mother, a single mom. That is. I love Poppy. She's my child. She saved my life and completely changed my day-to-day, but it's the best decision I ever made. I love her. If you can do anything, I suggest you get a dog. They're amazing. They're great. And then in January, I actually got reached out to by a mutual friend of mine, someone kind of like in the social media space. It's a very small circle, you'll start to realize, but reached out to me back in, I think, like December, and said, January, and said, hey, we're bringing this branch to Oklahoma State. Do you want to start like basically a satellite account? So I ran that, brought that to the top. It was so fun, like one of the best experiences I've had. Did that, decided to step away. It was amazing, gave what it needed to give. And then this summer I have a social media and like data internship that I'm doing, which is really awesome. So I've bounced from one thing to another, not because I have commitment issues, guys, but because I love to learn new things. I love to get better at things, try my hand at things. And that's also another problem. I do so much. I spread myself too thin. And that's a lesson I need to learn. And I think maybe you guys need to learn. You're not defined by the amount of things you do or like how busy your calendar is. You're defined by how you make people feel. And I love picking up new things. I love picking up new hobbies and new jobs and new opportunities because I hate saying no and I never want to regret something later on in life. But it's gotten to a point that I've done so many things at once that I've spread myself so thin that it is affecting the things that I'm doing. So, I pick up this internship with this videography, right? It's at my university and I get to do video all day, every day, whatever. Pick that up. And then this other social media job comes on and I'm still working for Glacier and I'm taking 18 hours and I have 2 autoimmune disorders and I'm dealing with mental health. Like, because I still deal with everything that happened to me in high school. And I'm also a girl going through college in my junior year. All of those things together, I was so burnt out by the end of the semester. And I wasn't able to properly give myself, at the end of the day, I wasn't able to give myself what I needed. I put myself all the way at the bottom of that list. I stopped working out. I stopped eating healthy. I stopped taking care of myself, taking care of my sleep. I would pull all-nighters 2 to 3 nights a week, guys. And then the next day, I'd try to wake up for work and I wouldn't, I'd be late. And it makes me look bad in every aspect. I barely went to class. I went to class when I had exams, and I was struggling. I think this past semester was one of the hardest times, like mental health wise for me, because I put myself on the back burner. I had a conversation with myself. I looked at myself in the mirror and I spoke out loud. I am not going to put myself on the back burner ever again. I'm going to put myself at the number 1 spot in every single aspect of my life from now on. My sleep matters, my mental health matters, my physical health matters, my eating matters, my happiness matters. That's what matters. Nothing else at the end of the day can top that. No man, no job, no piece of homework or class or social media assignment, whatever the fuck it is, nothing should top you. You should be your number 1 priority for the rest of your life. That doesn't mean you're selfish, but at the same time, it is so okay to be selfish when it comes to you. You're stuck with yourself for the rest of your life. You're not going to be stuck with a job for the rest of your life. You're not going to be stuck with a man for the rest of your life, or a best friend, or a class, or whatever. You're going to be stuck with you in your own skin with the body that you have, and it's going to matter how you treat it right now when you're in your 20s or whatever. It's going to matter now because later on you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it. Like me, literally just for 6 months, I put myself at the back burner and I regret it because it takes me a week, 2 weeks to come out of this like just burnout period. I don't know what to do. I'm sleeping. Like I'm exhausted from this past semester because from not even this past semester, this whole year, I'm exhausted. I never give myself a break. Put yourself first. Stop putting anything else above yourself. Nobody's going to make me put myself last ever again. Ever again. I got really enthusiastic about that. A lot of shit's happened, to say the least. And can I fill you in on everything right now? Probably not. But a lot's happened. But I think from all that I just said and explained that I went through, whatever, I think I went through a period of identity loss. Not as in like I didn't know my moral compass and who I was and what I wanted, but I didn't know who I was and I didn't know what I wanted. I know my morals. I know where I stand on things, but I didn't know where I'm going to go in life. And I think the biggest thing that I've realized is what matters is one thing, and that's seeking fulfillment. Falling in love with the journey, falling in love with the process, and understanding it's okay that you don't know where you're going to go next. I think that's the most beautiful thing. You have to become in tune with who you are, what you think is best for you, say a few prayers about it, and move from that. Because God will give you the answers. He will guide you. He will put you on the path that you need to be on. And every single thing that happens in your life is either a lesson or a blessing. But everything happens for a reason. And what matters is you take something from it and you learn from it. And you move on. And it's learning what's right for you, what feels right. And I'm back. I'm seeking fulfillment. I'm falling in love with the journey. I'm taking my own words because I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. We all fall down. It's okay. Get back up. Take time. Stop. Smell the roses. Whatever the fuck. But keep going. I went through the time of the identity loss and the burnout and just feeling very low energy and not like myself. And I didn't have a lot of guidance or direction. But at the end of the day, like, I still always felt like a pull back to the mic. A pull back to you guys. I always want to share my life with you guys, but I get scared when I'm not perfect and when I don't have all these great things to say or inspirational things. But I'm back here because I love talking with you guys. I love sharing my life with you guys. And there's a lot of shit I've been through that I never told you guys about. And a lot of shit I've been through that I still need to tell you guys about now that just happened. There's a lot of shit that we all go through. But I'm here to publicize mine. Because why not? Why the hell not? But this whole process I went through with, losing myself and having the identity loss and burnout and whatever, like when it came to the healing process and coming back to like who I am or finding who I am and feeling like myself again, like the biggest thing is like it wasn't linear. It wasn't pretty. That's for fucking sure. But it was necessary. And I think the time I took away from the mic was needed. As much as I want to be here with you guys and I want to share things and I left you guys on a cliffhanger, I think I needed a break and I needed to find myself and look within and realign myself and get my grounding again. And that's what I did. But where we're going in season 3 and where we're going to go from here is, I think the biggest thing is just raw honesty. I'm not going to sit here and plan out all these episodes with bullet points and whatever. We're just going to sit here and talk. We're going to sit here and talk. I'm not going to preach to you guys like I'm some therapist and I know what I'm talking about and I'm some like psychologist or whatever the fuck. I'm a 21-year-old girl in college trying to figure out my life. And I'm opening up the door, opening up the window so you guys can come look in and see what the fuck I'm doing with my life. And I'm just talking to you guys about it. And if you want to be here, welcome. Come on in. If you don't want to be here, there's the door. But it's just going to be raw honesty, and finding clarity in all of the chaos that is our 20s. Because there's a lot of shit we still have to figure out. Because as much as I feel like I know everything, I know nothing. Where am I going to be in a year? I don't know. Where am I going to be in 6 months? I don't know. Where do I want to be? I don't fucking know. But I think the biggest theme that we're going for in season 3 is healing ourselves, working on our ambition and our drive and direction, even if we don't know exactly who or where we want to be, working on our purpose and what we stand for. And the biggest and most important thing that I will always stand by is we're going to work on our self-worth and we're going to work on making ourselves a priority this year. This is where it starts. And I know it's not January and it's not time for New Year's resolutions, but we're almost halfway through the year. And you can always start those resolutions now. You can always say you want to change your life now. So let's do it. Let's change our lives and let's change the way we treat ourselves and our outlooks. This week, we're going to have episode 2, obviously. And I think the biggest thing is like, we're going to talk about what happens when you grow, you fall apart, and then you come back stronger. What does that look like? How do you come back from that? And how do you continue to build on that? I think there's a lot to dive into with that topic. And if you guys have anything, make sure to send it my way. I can't wait to read what you guys have to share. But all in all, like, I'm so ready to have you guys back in my life. I'm so ready to regularly do this every week and talk to you guys because I miss it. For everyone who's returning from the past, I love you guys so much. Welcome back. I missed you and I can't wait. And for all of you newcomers, like, I love you guys already. Welcome to my space. My space is your space, and welcome. I love you guys all so much. And you guys are always welcome to become a part of this journey. You guys can submit questions or submit stories through my DMs. I also have a link attached in my bio where you can submit a question or submit a story as well if you guys don't want to DM me. And then also if you guys have any episode ideas, like, I want to hear you talk about this, I want to hear you talk about that. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on that? Let's go through it. Like, throw it at me. Let's do it. This podcast isn't just mine. It's never been just mine. This is your guys's too. This is your guys's space as well. I'm just the one with the mic. I'm just a messenger. But with that being said, we are not ever chasing perfect here. We're choosing real, and we're choosing to constantly seek fulfillment. And that means a different thing every week. Make sure to follow It's Now or Never on all social media platforms, and I will link them down below for you guys. But for now, I'm signing off. I love you guys. Continue to seek fulfillment and continue to build and live your best lives and become stronger. I love you guys so much. I'll see you next week. Bye. Mwah.